Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September DAC Webcast. I'm Shara Savage, the Director of the Division of Assessment and Accountability Support in KDE's Office of Assessment and Accountability. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us this morning. So we have a pretty full agenda, so let's get started. We have the college admissions exam update. Kristen Roseberry will be bringing us the latest information on that exam. Krista Mullins will be joining me to talk about the Kentucky alternate assessment and giving some updates there. Tiffany Christopher will be bringing you some K-Screen updates. And Chris is out on a well-deserved vacation this week, so I'll be bringing you some WIDA access updates. And then I'll go into some information and updates on the standard setting that we've had last week for science. And then we'll go over the tentative remaining dates for data reporting. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kristen, who will give you those updates on the college admissions exam.
Thanks, Shara. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to be here today and give you a reminder that the Finance and Administration Cabinet granted KDE's request to proceed with the College Board pending a determination regarding the protest, and we are now at 8 weeks into the protest. KDE is still planning for the spring 2026 administration of the SAT, and at this time there is no resolution, but once the protest is resolved, the Office of Assessment and Accountability will be able to share trainings, resources, and testing dates with districts. We understand that the frustration that this delay is causing to our districts and schools, but we want to assure you that once the protest is resolved, we will have all of the information ready for you. I think that's all I have for my update, but before I move on to Krista, I want to check with Devin and see if there's any questions.
Right now, we have no questions about the college admissions exam in DAC Info.
Thank you, Devin. I'll now turn it over to Krista.
All right, thanks so much, Kristen. Hello, everyone, and good morning. I'm going to bring you some updates about the Kentucky alternate assessment. So first of all, I wanted to address the alternate Kentucky summative assessment trainings, the AKSA trainings, and the quiz. The trainings for the attainment tasks were released on Monday, August 25th. And just as a reminder, the AT training is 2 separate trainings, and both of those must be completed. Test administrators, which are certified teachers, also need to make sure that they complete the administration code and inclusion of special populations trainings, as well as both AT trainings. And then after those trainings, they need to complete the AKSA qualification quiz. The quiz opened on Friday, August 25th, and it will close on Friday, November the 7th. Test administrators may not receive any testing materials. This is just a reminder that they may not receive any testing materials until all the training is complete, and they have given their quiz completion certificate to the DAC. Some emails have come in about teachers being locked out of the quizzes. If a teacher has completed the quiz unsuccessfully after 3 attempts, they will be locked out of the quiz. And then the quiz will be unlocked 24 hours after they were locked out to give them time to review the training materials again. If a teacher is locked out of the quiz a second time, which would be 6 unsuccessful attempts at the quiz, the system will send an email to the DAC with further instructions on what to do beyond that point. Looking at the online training system, or the OTS, this is where the teachers will access that qualification quiz, and a link to the AT trainings is also found in the OTS. If a DAC does not have an account in the OTS, they'll need to register for an account by clicking the register link on the login page of the OTS, and you can see the picture here. When you go to that login page, it says members area and register. So any teacher or DAC that does not currently have an account with the OTS will need to register first. It is important that teachers make sure their profile is updated to their current district, school, and grades taught. So teachers who have taught in other districts will have an account, but their profile will reflect their previous district. So they need to go in and update that to reflect their current district. In order for them to have access to the animations and videos, and any recordings needed during test administration, it's very crucial that they have their profile updated, reflecting the grades that they teach. And also with the online training system, when you have an account in the OTS, this will also give you access to the student registration database, the SRD, and it uses the same login information when the SRD does open. And for teachers, successful completion of the qualification quiz will activate the teacher's access to SRD. So in years past, the DACs needed to activate their account, and that is not the case this year. The teachers will, when they complete that quiz successfully, it will grant them access to SRD. Looking at our transition attainment record, or the TAR, this training will release on Monday, September 29th, and the TAR qualification quiz will open on the same day and close on Monday, December 22nd. Something new this year with the TAR administration is that the date that the TAR may begin with the administration for the students does not coincide with the release of the training. So TAR administration begins on Friday, October 10th. And so that's to give administrators time to take the training, complete the quiz, and get that qualification certificate prior to beginning administration. The TAR qualification quiz and the link to the TAR training will be available in the OTS, and we'll also release those in that Monday DAC email and special alternate email. Some upcoming important dates for the Kentucky Alternate Assessment Program, or the KAAP. Like I said, September 29th, that TAR training and qualification quiz will release. On October 3rd, the Infinite Campus pool will take place. So it's very important that all IEPs are locked and students are clearly marked as alternate assessment so that they will pull correctly into the SRD. October 10th, TAR administration begins. Also on October 10th, the Employability Skills Attainment Record, or ESAR qualification quiz will open. And then just looking a little further into October, the week of October 20th, materials shipped for AKSA test window 1. And for our newer DACs, just so you know, those materials ship based on our IC pool. So we're able to see which schools have students and make sure that materials are sent to districts. So there is no need to submit an order for those testing materials. And then on October 21st, early access to SRD opens for districts to be able to verify and edit their rosters based on that IC pool and to make any adjustments if needed. So that is all I have for the Kentucky Alternate Assessment and some of our updates. So I'm going to just take a moment and see if any questions have come into DAC info.
Krista, right now there are no questions about the alternate assessment program.
All right, thank you so much, Devin. So at this time, I'm going to turn everything over to my colleague, Tiffany Christopher.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for that, Krista. I have a quick K-Screen update for you guys today. We have a K-Screen office hour. Office of Assessment and Accountability and Curriculum Associates will hold virtual office hours on September 18th from 1 to 2 p.m. and September 30th from 12 to 1 p.m. to support the K-Screen process. A registration link will be published in next week's Monday DAC email with the links. And during these sessions, representatives from OAA and Curriculum Associates will be available to provide guidance and discuss common questions. Don't hesitate to bring any topic that you'd like to cover. If you can stay for 5 minutes, just your question, or the whole hour, we'd love to have you. If you have any questions, feel free to give me an email or a call, tiffany.christopher@education.ky.gov. I'll check in with Devin real quick before passing it over to Shara to see if there's any questions.
Tiffany, right now we have no questions about K-Screen.
Sounds good. Thanks, Devin. I'll go ahead and pass it over to my colleague, Shara.
Thank you, Tiffany. So let's dive into a few updates for WIDA access and WIDA alternate access. So here is the tentative schedule for access and alternate access. As you can see, the first date of importance is the testing materials window, which will tentatively begin on 9/26. So that is upcoming. And then now let's take a look at the required WIDA trainings. The WIDA screener for kindergarten and WIDA screener online trainings opened back on July 1. The access and the alternate access trainings began on September 1, and the access for kindergarten trainings will be opened on September the 29th. All assessment trainings must be completed through the WIDA Secure Portal, and it's important to remember that certifications of completion are kept locally with the District Assessment Coordinator. Please make sure your staff members have completed the necessary training and that your DAC has those records on file. And here are some important updates about WIDA access and WIDA alternate access ordering. The ordering window, as I said earlier, will begin starting September the 26th and will run through October 22nd. Before the window begins, DRC will send out an email to DACs with details. To help districts with ordering, a PowerPoint guide in WIDA AMS will be shared in a Monday DAC email before the ordering window opens. In addition, there will be ordering materials webinar on Tuesday, September 23rd from 1 to 2. That would be Central Time. You can access this training, this webinar through the WIDA Secure Portal, and it will also be recorded for later viewing. So look for those resources that Chris is developing, and she'll be sharing those in a Monday DAC email soon. And before we close out this section, Chris provided some resources for you. So I want to highlight some of those resources, and so that you can keep those bookmarked throughout the year as you begin working through the schedule of events for access. First, the back to school trainings include a set of 5 modules that cover everything from the screener and the assessment to Infinite Campus, timelines, professional development. These are a great starting point if you need a refresher or you want to onboard new staff. The WIDA Access webpage is your hub for important links, testing windows, and key updates. The WIDA Secure Portal is where you'll complete all the trainings and screeners, all training courses for the screeners and assessments, as well as the access webinars and professional development opportunities. For data and student management, the WIDA AMS system is where you'll find the last year's score reports, manage your accounts, register students, and print test tickets. And finally, the Kentucky's member page pulls together testing schedules, requirements, resources, and professional development flyers, along with contact information for standard programs and assessments. So before I move into the standard setting, Devin, do we have any questions at this time?
We actually do have one question
Okay.
about WIDA. We have
Okay.
a new BAC that needs access and an account created to the WIDA secure portal to complete their training. How does that work?
Well, normally you would send an email to Chris to get that account set up. Where she's out at this time, you can email Tiffany Christopher. She's her backup. So we'll have Tiffany to follow up with that email, Devin, and help them start getting them set up.
All right, thank you. There are no further questions.
Okay, so let's dive into the KSA science standard setting. In the spring of 2025, KDE introduced updated summative assessment in science. These assessments, known as the Kentucky Summative Assessments, are based on the state content standards that were revised in 2023. In November of 24, KDE redesigned the test for the spring of 2025 science assessment to align the updated criteria and reflect Kentucky's science assessment blueprint. The new design measured student proficiency across 3 core science domains: life science, physical science, earth and space science. To support the transition to this new design, which incorporates shorter clusters and discrete items, a standard setting was required following the spring 25 administration. This process established cut scores necessary to categorize student performance into performance levels and uphold the validity and reliability of Kentucky's science assessment system. This standard setting was held virtually via Teams on September the 4th and the 5th, so last Thursday, Friday. 3 committees of Kentucky's educators reviewed the data and established performance cut scores for grades 4, 7, and 11. In total, 32 panelists participated. The participants were experienced educators representing a diverse background in districts, backgrounds, classroom expertise. Their work ensures Kentucky's science assessment system continues to provide fair, reliable measures of student proficiency while reflecting the current science standards. Science scores were not included in the data that was released the week of August 4th, as the standard setting for science had not yet occurred. These science scores should be released tentatively around mid-October. So at this time, Devin, I'll go ahead and stop and see if we had any questions around the science standard setting.
Right now, we have no questions about standard setting.
Okay, all right. So just a few reminders. We do have some timeline left on the data reporting, so I wanted to refresh those in your mind. So again, these are still tentative dates. However, we are on track to have these dates moving forward, but we still have a few things to put in place, so we're still calling it a tentative timeline. On October 23rd, we have scheduled tentatively for our quality control day, and that will be when DACs will get their first look at accountability results. This is a critical opportunity to identify any potential systematic issues before the data is finalized. Then the embargo release of the accountability data to districts will occur mid to late November, which means DACs and selected district staff will have access to the data before it becomes public. Additionally, in mid to late November, we move into public reporting. The data will then become available publicly. Finally, immediately following the public release, we enter into the 10-day regulatory data review period. This is the final opportunity for DACs to submit new tickets. So Devin, I will turn to you once more. Do we have any questions around the tentative timeline or any other questions for any of our other consultants?
We have one question about the timeline pertaining to individual student scores. When will KSA student individual scores be released to parents?
The individual score reports were, excluding science, those were released the week of August 4th. All right. Devin, do we have any others?
We did have one more related to the SAT, but because it was a little bit more specific, I went ahead and just forwarded that on to Kristen to answer that one.
Okay. All right. So then that concludes our September DAC webcast. But I want to remind you, if you have any questions or comments after today's webcast, please don't hesitate to send those good questions and comments to us at dacinfo@education.ky.gov. Our next monthly DAC webcast will be on October 9th at 11 a.m. And until we meet again, take care and remember OAA is here to support you. Thank you for your participation today.